Okay. Hi guys, how are you all going? Okay, lesson 6, although it says lesson 7 on screen. And what we're learning about today is multiplying tenths by one-digit whole numbers. Alright, so if we have a look at these ones here, in the top it says that when we multiply it out, we regroup the tenths and write the number as a decimal. So in the example up here, 4 tenths times 6, written as 4 tenths times 6, 4 sixths are 24, so 24 tenths, regrouped and recorded as 2 and 4 tenths in decimal form. Alright, so when we look over here at A, you should be able to see in that one a number fact, and it's in your 6 times tables, it's 6 times 7. So 6 sevens, as we know, is 42. So what you need to be able to do is know where to put the decimal point. So if 6 sevens are 42, then 6 times 7, 6 tenths times 7 is 42 tenths, and rewritten as 4 and 2 tenths in digit form. Alright, there are 3 more there for you to have a go at. Remember to use your number facts to help you out. Pause the video and have a go at those ones now. We're back. Let's see how you went. So, 9 tenths times 3 is 27 tenths, regrouped as 2 and 7 tenths. 4 tenths times 8, 4 lots of 8 tenths, 8 lots of 4 tenths, 32 tenths, 3 decimal 2 or 3 and 2 tenths written in when it's been regrouped. And finally, 7 tenths times 2, you should see your 7 times 2 as a number fact there, and it gives you 14 tenths, 1 and 4 tenths. Alright, have a look at this one here. They're getting a little bit harder. So it's 2 and 7 tenths times 3. If we're going to estimate first, we realise that 2 and 7 tenths is close to 3. 3 threes are 9, so our approximate answer is 9. Now in this particular way of calculating, it is going to multiply by 3 each of the individual parts, the ones and the tenths. So if we have a look down here, you've got ones by ones and tenths by ones. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21 tenths. Now if I look over here, 2 ones and 7 tenths, which makes up our 2 and 7 tenths times 3. So we multiply each of them out. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. The 21 tenths is then regrouped as 2 ones and 1 tenth. So when we put the ones together, we get 8 ones and 1 tenth, or 8 and 1 tenth written in digit form. Alright, over here now, there's 2 here. One we'll work through together, and then the second one I'll leave for you. So 6 and 8 tenths multiplied by 5. If we're going to estimate first of all, 6 and 8 tenths is close to 7. So we round it up to 7. 7 fives are 35. There is our estimate that we'll compare to our calculation shortly. Alright, so if we're calculating, I will have to multiply the 5 by the 6, which gives me 30 ones. 5 times 8, 8 tenths that is 40 tenths. I then regroup my 40 tenths as 4 ones and no tenths left over. So putting my ones together, 30 ones and another 4 ones is 34 ones. Now I actually think that you guys would rather, and I think I'd rather have you work it out with the vertical algorithm. So over here we can see the vertical algorithm. We align our numbers to make it setting out easier to follow, and then we're going to multiply by the 5. With multiplication, remember, we always start with the ones or the smallest place value. In this case, it's the tenths. 5 eighths. 5 eighths are 40, so we put down the 0 and carry the 4. So I'm now finished multiplying by the 8, so I need to multiply now by the 5 by the 6. 5 sixes are 30, plus 4, 34. And so as you can see, my answer is the same. Alright, you have this one to do. It's 208 and 3/10 multiplied by 6. Now, that number's quite a lot larger than 6 and 8/10. So when we estimate, I'm happy to round it a little more generously, let's say. So if we round to 200 times 6, I know my approximate answer is around 1,200. I would like you now to calculate 208 and 3/10 by 6. You can either do it as a partition method where you're working with place values, or you can set out the algorithm as I've done over here. Pause the video now and have a go at that one for yourself. All right, how'd you go? If I'm partitioning or breaking it up into its parts, I've multiplied this 200 by the 6, which gives me 1200s. 0 tens, 6 times 0 is 0 tens. 6 times 8 is 48, that was ones. And 6 times 3/10 is 18/10. Now, taking that first line, I'm going to start regrouping. The 18/10, I can get 1 1 and 8/10 out of that. The 48 ones, I can get 4 10s and 8 ones out of that. So if I move to the third line in this equation, I start putting those together. So the 8 ones and the 1 1 gives me 9 ones. And so if I move on to the next line here, I've got 1200 and no tens plus 4 tens plus 9 ones plus 8 tenths. Putting it all together, I've got 1,249 and 8/10. Now, if you did it as an algorithm, you would have set it out in a similar fashion to that. So then you would have gone 6 times 3 is 18, put down the 8, carry the 1. 6 8s are 48, plus that 1 is 49, put down the 9 and carry the 4. We still need to multiply by the 0. 6 zeros are 0 and 4 is 4. That leaves us with the 200. 6 2s are 12, or 1,249 and 8/10. The same answer as we had over here. I don't mind whether you use the algorithm. I think you'll find it a little bit easier than setting it out this way, and it's a lot faster. And we have practiced that algorithm before, so you're very familiar with it. Okay, so we're now going to take it a step further and apply it into problem situations. So in the first problem here, you can see that we're working in a measure, meters. In the second problem, we're working in litres. In the third problem, we're again working in meters. So a dressmaker needed 1.4 meters of material for each uniform she made, and if she was making 8 uniforms, how much? You've got 1.4 meters multiplied by 8, and I would actually, in setting out an algorithm, put the 1.4 on top and the single digit in the second line. Pause the video now and have a go at each of those three for me. Okay, you've restarted the video, so you must be confident to keep going. Let's check your work. Alright, if I'm estimating 1.4, I'm going to round it to 1. 1 out of 8 is 8, so my answer is going to be roughly 8, although I know I've rounded down a fair bit there, so my answer actually should be higher than that. And there it is. 4 8s are 32, put down the 2, carry the 3, 8 ones are 8, plus that 3 is 11, so it's 11.2, but of course 11.2 meters. In the second one, we're estimating again. Now, the estimation here is a little bit different because they've estimated 0.3 up to 0.5, which is quite a lot. The reason they went with 0.5 is because it's a half. A half of 25 is 12 and a half. But I think that answer is going to be quite different to the real answer, especially if you were to actually go out and buy this much for a party. If we look at how much it is, 3 5s are 15, put down the 5, carry the 1, 3 2s are 6 and 1 is 7, 7.5 litres is the actual calculation. Quite a lot different to our estimate. There's probably better ways to estimate that one, although I actually think you can say that 3 25s are 75, or you can go, even if you rounded this down to 20, 3 20s are 60. So 6 litres, you'd know, is under the actual amount, but it's still a closer estimate than that one there. Anyway, let's move on. 6.7 multiplied by 8, round 6 and 7/10 up to 7, 7 eighths 56. Let's see what the actual calculation tells us. All right, so if we multiply it out, 7 eighths are 56, 6 eighths are 48, and 3 more is 53. So 53 and 6/10, fairly close that time. And of course, meters is the measure we need. All right, that's it for today. So let's hear some of our jokes. Some of these are better than others. I wonder if you go and tell anybody your jokes. Anyway, why is Cinderella bad at soccer? Because she is always running away from the ball. Why did the picture go to prison? Because it was framed. What did one eye say to the other eye? Between us, something smells. What kind of a room doesn't have doors? There's an oldie but a goodie. I bet you already know the answer. A mushroom. What has 4 wheels and flies? Trust me, this is an oldie as well. A garbage truck. Lucky last. Why was the broom late? It overswept. Okay, and I believe most of you are probably sleeping in until all sorts of hours on these holidays or on this extended break. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Take care. Don't forget to have a go at either Manga High or at, I can't even think, I'm having a mental blank. Study Ladder, that's it. Have a go at either of those, and catch you again tomorrow. All right, thanks, guys.